Today's episode is such a powerful one. I'm joined by the amazing Hollie Nicholson, an online fitness and fat loss coach who helps women over 40 feel strong, empowered, and confident in their bodies. She's also a sober mom who just hit 1 full year alcohol-free. Go Hollie. We dive into her personal journey with alcohol, including the exhausting cycle of moderation, the moment she knew she was done for good, and the incredible shifts, mental, emotional, and physical, that happened after she made that decision. Hollie shares openly about how sobriety has impacted her mindset, her relationships, and even her business. We also talk all things fitness, how she's building a thriving coaching practice that supports women in real life with real bodies and real goals. Hollie's approach is refreshingly honest and totally attainable, especially for those of us who want to feel good without obsession or restriction. Whether you're on your own alcohol-free journey, thinking about making a change, or just love hearing about empowered women doing incredible things, this episode is for you. Let's get into it. Hi, Hollie.
Hi, Abby. How are ya?
Good. Welcome to the podcast.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you here. And we met via the Sober Mom Life group.
Yes.
Yes, which I love. I've been like, the past couple weeks, I was just saying this, I've been leaning on the group so much.
Yeah.
And I still have to, I preach it all the time about community and you don't have to do this all alone. But sometimes I even forget. And because my natural state is to, like, when something's going on, kind of close in on myself. But I'm trying to remind myself. So I've been in like every meeting this week and it's
That's
like,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, I actually haven't been in a meeting in a really long time. And I probably don't use it as much as I should. But like this week again, like I've been using it more like in the like chats and things like that. And I also like don't want to let it go because it got me through
Yeah.
that first year. And now I'm at like a point of like giving back to the people in the community that were in the same, situation as me a year ago.
Totally. And like that's how I was approaching it, like really for months. And it was like, okay, how can I go on and help and
Yeah.
all this stuff? And then all of a sudden you get hit with a little like downturn and it's like, wait, I need this. I need these. And so it's just so
Yeah.
crazy how that like ebbs and
Mhm.
flows and it's just amazing. But yeah, I'm so excited to have you here today, hear a
Yeah.
little bit more about your story and
Yeah.
what you're doing in the space. So, can you take us back to kind of like the drinking days and how this all looked for you?
Yeah. I feel like it was a long journey. It's been a really long journey for me. Like I drank for the first time at the age of 14. Was a freshman in high school. And then, I didn't really drink a ton. Like I didn't drink a ton in high school. It was like an ebb and flow for me. I was a 3-sport athlete and I really didn't like ever want to get caught and, lose a season. And I come from a really small town where, parties were getting busted and things were happening and you kind of like knew whose parents allowed you to drink at their house and whose didn't. And, my parents didn't, and not really many of my friends, my really core group of friends' parents didn't allow it. So I didn't really drink a lot in high school. It was like more in the summertime, and then, my junior year in high school, like in the spring, I guess, I started dating a guy who lived in Ohio, which sounds really weird, but it was like only like 20 minutes away. And in Ohio, you can go into a bar when you're 18 and you can also buy liquor or booze, beer, wine, everything through a gas station drive-through. And his sister worked at one of those. And his mom actually worked at a bar, so she wasn't home very often in the evenings. So I really feel like that was my high school boyfriend, like towards the end of my high school, I definitely drank more during that time. I also gave up one of my sports. So it was like during that off season, I had time off and I didn't know what to do with myself. And, then I went off to college and kind of like typical college, party on the weekend, usually start at Thursday night, whatever. My college boyfriend was in a fraternity and I couldn't wait to like, go visit him on the weekends and drank and whatnot. And then, into your 20s, my husband and I always say like, man, like we spent a lot of time drinking on the weekends when we were first married, and then I had kids. And so then it was like, I had no problem having no drinks when I had, was pregnant or whatever. I was never, and I think this is so important because I personally don't like the word sober and I don't like the word alcoholic. And I actually don't like the word non alcoholic beer because my husband's always like, but like that just implies you were an alcoholic. But I don't label myself as that. I was never a weekday drinker ever. I was never the person that was like, let's pour a glass of wine during the week. Would occasionally my husband and I have a glass of wine with dinner on like a Thursday night? Yes. And I was never good at stopping at one drink. He could. I just was never good at that. So then I just kind of, then it was like I would look forward to the weekends where, like, as soon as, Friday at 5 o'clock hit, like I could make a margarita or whatever. And, sometimes I would have 2 drinks. Sometimes I would have 5 drinks. It just, I got really sick of the mental gymnastics because as soon as you have that first drink, it's like you're continually playing gymnastics in your head. Should I have another drink? Can I have another drink? Should I drink some water in between? Should I do XYZ? If I have the second drink, I'm done probably. Like then it's going to be third. And I just got really sick of that. And so there were lots of times when I tried to stop drinking. So, back in, I think it was 2019, I did my first dry January. I can't even remember the date. And I made it until like February 14th. So, that was great. I was excited. Then, it was like I did that lots of times. And every time I did that, the span of time I went without drinking got longer and longer. And I was able to moderate slowly as I came back to it. But then it just got harder and harder for me. And prior to quitting for good, I had a 6 month span that I went in 2020, which after the pandemic, right? So
Yeah.
I would say this span was like my most significant because I had drank at my son's birthday party. It would have been 2020, so he was turning 4, and I mean, like, also, why do you have booze at a kid's birthday party? Like,
I know.
it's
I know.
so stupid.
I know.
So I had drank with some friends, and then, most of the guests had left, and like one family had stayed, and I drank too much and I got drunk. And the next day I woke up and I was so hungover. And I think we had like a Thursday night birthday party. He's a summer baby. So, that just like feels like it's, celebration all the time. And I was like, this is stupid and this is ridiculous. And the events after people left last night were a little foggy in my head. And this is dumb. I'm going to quit drinking. And it was like, June 29th, June 30th. Like, who quits drinking in the month of July? Me. And I made it for 6 months. And it was one of those things where I made it through the month of July and I was like, yay, this is amazing. If I can make it through the month of July, then I can go August. And once I got 60 days, it was like, maybe I can go 100, and then maybe I can go 6 months. And once I got to 6 months, I was like, I got this. Like, I actually can drink moderately. I can have 1 drink or 2 drinks and be done. And I could for a little bit of time. But as we know, then I couldn't moderate anymore. And again, I just like want to reiterate this because I hear so often, well, I don't have a problem because I don't drink every night. I didn't drink every night. And you don't have to have a problem.
No.
You can have a problem with alcohol. Alcohol is the problem. You're not the problem.
Yeah.
Alcohol is the problem. It's not actually good for you. And so, I went a while and then, whatever. And then there was like when I quit for good last year, it was not even like when I stopped drinking in 2020. There was not even like this hangover, this life-changing event, nothing. I literally woke up on May 13th, 2024 and was like, this is stupid. Why am I drinking? I get up at 5 a.m. and I work out. I run an online fitness business, a nutrition business, where I talk about doing good things for your body. And I do mostly good things for my body, but I'm still drinking alcohol on the weekends. Whether it's 1 drink or 5 drinks, it's still bad for me. And it's still ethanol in my body. 2022, I also had a breast cancer scare. I had a lump in my breast, had a lumpectomy. It was benign. But at that time, I read The Naked Mind. I went really deep with podcasts on like breast cancer, alcohol, and I knew like I had to cut it out. But it took me till 2024 to actually do it.
I love this story
Yeah.
because this is so common. Like, I feel like a lot of times on the podcast and what we listen to, there's a rock bottom. There's, oh my gosh, I can't believe it got so bad. And like, I totally relate to a lot of that too. But I think the majority of the moms that I talk to, this is it.
Yes.
It's the mental headspace. I didn't even realize I was walking around in a fog for so
Yep.
long because I was trying to figure out, it was like a beautiful mind, when he has that like
Mhm.
chalkboard up with all, it's like, wait, so if I drink tonight, well, then I'm not going to drink tomorrow. And then if I have 2 glasses of wine, but if I have water, but I had a big meal, and then, but do I have anything tomorrow? And maybe I can have a big night tonight because tomorrow I don't have it. My gosh. It's
Yes.
like when you're doing all of that on top of everything else that we do as moms, as wives, as running the household, as having our careers, as working on our health, like it's too much. It's
Too
like,
much.
why put that on yourself
Yeah.
for something that you don't need? You're actually
100%.
better off without it. Like I had to flip my headspace around it because, and I'm sure you felt like this too, I could not do this if I felt like I was being punished
Mhm.
or I wasn't allowed or had
Yes.
to do it on
Yes.
willpower. Like that's awful. I have no interest in that.
100%. And I went through all the things. I tried like counting how many drinks I would have in a week. I tried being like, okay, when I had this breast cancer scare, I was like, okay, the recommended amount of alcohol per week for women is this.
Right.
If I only have this, then I am okay. Stupid. Why am I doing this? So when I woke up on May 3rd, 2024, did I drink the night before? Yes. I had a beer. It was Mother's Day. I woke up the day after Mother's Day. I had one or maybe 2 beers. I can't remember. After playing a sand volleyball game, my husband came to watch me, and we went to a brewery. Then we got home and he was cooking me Mother's Day dinner. And I was like, let's open a bottle of champagne. And he's like, why? And I'm like, because it's Mother's Day. Right. Hello. We can celebrate without alcohol. Literally possible, my friends. And I was annoyed because he's like, we don't need to do that. And I'm like, yes, we do. And, I pretty much like peer pressured him into it. And I wasn't drunk. I woke up the next day, Monday morning, 5:45 a.m., got online with my strong crew, taught a class, was sitting on my island. I remember it so vividly. And I was like, I'm done. And I've said it before. So, of course, I texted my husband. I said, I'm done drinking. And I'm pretty sure it's for good this time. And he's like, babe, he's the best. Babe, I support you. Whatever you want to do, I support you. I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking in my head, he doesn't believe me because I've said this before, all those things.
Yeah.
And I went on a walk that day, and I actually like took a picture of me walking because I just had this like feeling that this was it. I can't even describe it, but it was like, you just know this is it. I've tried this so many times, but this time it felt different. And I had this like feeling that came to my mind. It was like, what if I'm 40 years old? I had just turned 40 in March. This was in May, so not even 2 months. I spent my 20s and my 30s drinking on the weekends, minus being pregnant. And what if I could live the last half of my life differently than I lived the first half of my life? I'm halfway through, maybe, hopefully I live till I'm 82. My mother in law died at 63. I have no idea how much time I have left. But if I do, you better believe I'm not going to be drunk and I'm not going to be hungover anymore. It does not have a place in my life. I'm not going to spend vacation worrying about like, oh, where are we going to stop for that drink? When do we
Oh,
get to stop? Like, because
I
I
know.
feel like that was like a reward for being on vacation, which is the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. Because don't you want to like soak every single moment of vacationing?
Yep.
When
Imagine waking up. I mean, how many times I did this? Waking up so sick in this expensive hotel room at this beautiful resort that we paid for, we planned for, we got childcare covered, we got all that, and you're sick. You made yourself sick with like a poison, basically. I mean, it doesn't even make sense
doesn't
anymore.
make sense. And you know what? You say that, and I remember this story. So my husband and I took a trip to Greece in 2000. 23, maybe, I think 2023. Yeah. In 2023, we did a catamaran trip with our best friends who live in England. And we took off from Mykonos, Greece, the town of the windmills.
Ugh.
And my husband got this amazing hotel before we got on the catamaran in Mykonos. It was beautiful, like right over the sea. And we had gone out the night before and we, had wine, and I think there were some shots. Our friends live in England. We were like celebrating, right? And the next morning I woke up and my husband and our friend, the other husband, they walked to the beach, like European beach club, got these chairs. I mean, he's texting me. It's like 11 o'clock. He's like, "Are you waking up? It's a beautiful day. Get here."
Oh, I
And
know.
I felt terrible. I
In a
mean,
million ways, right? It's like not, it's the physical, and it's like, am I going to throw up? I'm sweating, my heart's racing, everything. Then it's the mental guilt, shame. Why do I do this? Am I going to feel like this all day? I'm wasting my time on this vacation. What are other people thinking? It is all consuming.
all consuming. And I finally got there, finally walked there, and yes, sweating like, and we get there. And I mean, I'm just like sat on those chairs. I mean, it was like a chill day, but I'm like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do this again. And
Mm-mm.
then you come back from a vacation like that, and it's literally a detox because you're on vacation drinking every day.
Yep.
It's just,
I used to drink myself on these vacations we would go on. Like, it was so bad. Like, I would come back and full withdrawal. I didn't know this was withdrawal. Like, and it makes me think of that when you're talking about like drinking on the weekends. That's what I would do. And I had these like hard and fast rules. Like, work was so important to me. And I was like the typical going into my, job in New York City and all this stuff.
yeah,
And it was like, I had certain rules, and it was like, of course, I'm not going to drink in the morning. And like,
yeah,
I never did. And I understand how people get to that. It was just like, I had these rules of like, that's not what's going to happen. And I think another thing that saved me was like naivety a little bit. Like,
yeah,
I didn't even know, like, because I would have these crazy like Sundays. This is now back when I was like younger before
yeah,
kids. But we would go out like Sunday fun day in New
yeah,
York City, and like, oh my gosh, it was so much fun. But I remember like it's still to this day, if I hear like 60 minutes, like the I'm like, because I would be out, I would have drank all day, and then you hear that and it's like, oh my gosh, and the thought of the whole week coming, and I'm so drunk. But anyways, I would have these hard and fast rules, and I would detox or go through withdrawal every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, basically, shaking, sweating, so hungover, just trying to focus. It was really hard for me to focus like those first
mhm,
couple days. I was miserable. I would just go back to my apartment on like Monday, I crawl into bed. I was sick. I was literally sick.
yeah,
I was making myself sick for decade, 2 decades. Like,
yeah,
it's absolutely insane. But what I love about your story is like, you have to kind of like learn this. Like, I think a lot of this stuff is not teachable. Like, you truly have to like live it to
yes,
understand and have these checkpoints. Like, you do your 6 months, and then you, of course, that voice comes back. You can moderate. You made too much of a big deal about this and whatever. You don't have to be fully sober. Then you go and moderate. Then you realize you can't really moderate. Then you realize 99% is a bitch, 100% sober is freedom. And like all
yeah.
these different things that we talk about that you realize, but you have to live it. You have to learn it and go through it, right?
You have to go against what society tells us. It's
Yes.
everywhere. Like it is everywhere. The things that are triggering to me, you would never like I would never think it what is triggering to me like would be a trigger. Like a country song is sometimes super triggering to me. I love country music and the Dan and Shay song called Tequila. I don't know if you know what it is. Like
Of
when you
course.
I
Yeah.
can't sing,
Yeah.
but I'm like, ugh. I mean, it's like one of my favorite songs. And I'm like, and it talks about being sky high in Colorado, which is like my favorite place in the world. And
Oh,
I'm like, why can't they just talk about a mocktail or ice cream or like,
I know.
I mean, that's triggering to me. And so you do have to go against what society tells us because it's in our music, it's in every celebration we have, it's in all the things. You're like toasting. And my friend Sarah, who crazy, I met her via the Sober Mom Life podcast, but she lives near me. And like we have all these mutual friends, totally a God wink. And when she talked about the Sober Mom Life podcast, she's like, I couldn't imagine my life without alcohol, celebrations without alcohol. And I was like, boom, she hit the nail on the head, because I was trying to, like, put into words some of the things that I missed. And it was like toasting with a glass of wine, or toasting with a glass of champagne. Or my best friend the other day said, I just love it when I go into, a fancy party or whatever, and they hand you a glass of champagne. It just feels special. But you can feel special or feel celebrated other ways. Dressing up, still pour your shit in a fancy glass. Like, it feels fine. Like, now I'm like, you know what? We're out on a date night. Like, I'm going to get a non alcoholic beer, and then I'm going to have dessert, and that feels fancy. Or go for a walk after dinner. Like, that feels like really even more romantic to me than sitting at dinner toasting wine and walking out, a little tipsy, and it just sucks.
It's all just and it's so crazy because it's all what your brain is capable of doing.
Yeah.
And the alcohol industry really tapped into that in a really smart way, if you think about it, because we
Right.
have all these connections now from what we've seen on TV, how we see people interact socially. They've been cashing in on that, right? So we have to actually go through and rewire our brain at how we think about rewards and celebrations and special
Mhm.
and vacations and all these things. But what's so great is you can. And like that's what I think is like the most amazing thing here, because I really starting out, I was like, there's no way I'm not gonna miss that, because it was so ingrained in my life and so important to me and what I looked forward to. And now it's not at all. So
Right.
I keep using the podcast. Everybody, I use the same analogy over and over again. They're probably annoyed, but it's so true. It's like with drinking. I feel like that's like the ski run that is so smooth and it's all done, and you pretty much don't even have to do anything. You just kind of start down on your skis and you slide, and you know exactly what that is, good, bad, everything. You know what it is, and all of that. What we're doing with not drinking is trudging through really high snowpacks and trying to build this new ski run.
I
And
love
it's
that.
like, I'm exhausted. Oh my gosh. And like, I don't even know what's at the end of this. Like, and you're just going, going, going. But eventually, after a lot of trudging and a lot of going and just doing the hard work and doing all this stuff, all of a sudden you're like, I did it. I don't even miss
And you
that.
look up and you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. Did you know I'm a big skier?
Oh my
So
gosh.
I love that analogy. Like, skiing is my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, skiing was probably top three things I was worried about,
Yeah.
because I love an après ski. I
Yeah.
love a good beer when I'm done on the mountain.
Yep.
And my ski trips then would, like, my day would end at après ski,
Oh,
because I
of
would have a
course.
beer, or I'd have two or three. Then we'd sit in the hot tub, and it would be shit. And then you're in high elevation, and then you feel like hell the next day. And now, like, our ski trips have been amazing. And you know what? My husband and I went to Tahoe in February, and also he has been almost alcohol free for 6 months. Yay. That was like not something I put on him. I
Yeah.
just literally was like, I'm going to be the example. And if he wants to do this for his life, great. If he doesn't, no problem. Literally prayed. God just changed his heart against alcohol, and look at the miracle that has happened. I don't know if he'll ever drink again. That's his story and not mine.
Yeah.
But we skied Tahoe in February, and it was like we were done skiing. We would have Athletic Brewing beer. I swear I need to like get a affiliate code for them, because I love them.
Do it. They have an ambassador
I
program.
know.
It's
I
awesome.
need to do
Yeah.
it. I need to do it. And we would do it. And we'd like go sit in the hot tub for a little bit. Whereas normally we'd sit in the hot tub forever and drink. And we'd be in there like 20 minutes and be done. And then we went and explored. Our ski day ended at 4. We'd 3 or 4, we'd have a drink, one non-alcoholic beer. And then we explored the town of Tahoe, and we fell in love with it. Never did we do that
I know.
ever before.
I know.
In that alcohol industry, what people don't realize is how addictive alcohol is. They don't think it's an addictive substance, and it is. And I don't even believed when I first quit drinking that it was addictive, but it is. And why? How do I know that? Because when I have one NA beer, I don't have another one. Like, you don't want another one. Let's be real. It's the ethanol in it that makes it addictive and make you want another one. I have
I
one,
know.
I'm good, satisfy that craving, move on, you know?
Totally. I mean, so when I'm home, that's what I do, and I'm just like, "Okay, I'm done." When I'm out, I've noticed too, it's like a habit. So I'm like, I have emotional support drinks, I call them. I'm constantly surrounded by, like, 5 drinks at all times, and, like, who knows what that is? It's like, what
Yeah.
but they're non-alcoholic, so I'm not, like, killing myself with this because I also notice I drink really fast,
Right.
and so I think a lot of it's like social anxiety or just like I need something to do with my hands and all this. And so I will, but I like thank God they're not don't have alcohol in it. But yeah, it's so addictive. And what I was thinking when you said that, so when you do, you're at the lodge and you have this image that like you're doing it. You're in the center of like what, all this stuff and you feel like if you quit drinking, you're going to be missing out all this stuff. But it was actually the opposite. It's like
Mhm.
the alcohol was keeping you stuck. You were just doing the
Yes,
same thing over and
yes,
over again, and you were actually really small and just experiencing this much. Whereas once you get rid of the alcohol, now you're experiencing the whole town. Like, what a metaphor that is
yeah.
for what this whole process does. Like,
It's amazing. It's
yeah.
literally changed my life. Like,
Wow.
I could cry thinking about it. Like, I'm getting emotional because it has literally, there is nothing in my life that has gone downhill from stopping drinking. Not a single thing. It has strengthened every single area of my life. My marriage is different. I had a really good marriage before. I feel like very lucky that I have a great marriage, but we just laugh and we have fun and we have found new things that we like to do together because like, what are we gonna do tonight? We're gonna go to dinner and have a drink. And I'm like, I don't really just want to go to dinner. And that sounds boring. And we don't drink. So what else can we do together? We can go for a bike ride. We can play pickleball. We can go for a walk. Sometimes we like get on our golf cart and go ride in the country and blare music like teenagers, like
Yes.
it's changed
Again,
everything.
it's bigger. The whole world opened up to you. And it's hard to see when you're in it because that's just your reality. So you're like, wait, what? I don't know. And it's scary too, because for me, it was like a comfort blanket. And so I was like, well,
Mhm.
I don't know what it's like without this. And so, but again, it's like, okay, we were going to dinner and we're having these drinks and we're kind of doing the same thing over and over again. And now it's like
That's
opens up.
boring, right?
It's
Like, I look back and I'm like,
yes,
that's boring. Who
yes.
wants to go to dinner and just like sit and drink? Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. That just, I was like chatting with my therapist on Wednesday. And because also too, when I decided to give up alcohol, I said, I'm not just giving up alcohol. I'm like going to go do some deep inner work. Like, why was I drinking? What things do I need to process? And so I went to my therapist and we were kind of chatting about like Tuesday being my year anniversary of being alcohol free. And she was asking me how I felt about it. And, I had really like, I was on a high on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, I kind of felt like a little sad because um, all of my husband acknowledged it. He sent me to a spa day. My best friend who lives in England, I came home from my spa day and I was like, said to my husband, there's something on the porch. What did you see that? And he goes, no. And he goes around and it's like this big, beautiful bouquet she sent from England. She's like amazing. I didn't even know she like remembered. And then like all the people I've met in the Sober Mom Life group have sent messages, and not one single real life friend mentioned it, and it just kind of felt like weird. I don't even know, like, and maybe I had to like process that too. Like maybe I have like these too high expectations of the people that are my real life friends. Maybe I just have too high of expectations for them. And then my friend Sarah was like, well, you know what, Holly, like, you're just a different person, because I know if I told you that I was going to give up meat, even if you didn't agree with that, and I made it a year, I'd be like, good job. You reached your goal, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, you reached your goal. If you were training for a race, I'd be like, yay, good job. You reached your goal. My therapist said, I just feel like you're misaligned with people now. And what you are aligned to and what feels good to you now in your life is just different. And that's okay. And maybe you just need to like find people whose hobbies, values align with you in this season of life. And that's okay. And that felt like really hard, but it also felt like really good. Like, yes, what I value and what I want for my life is so different than it was a year ago. My priorities have completely shifted. My days have shifted. I haven't missed a sunrise. That is one thing I'm really proud of. Like, I love a sunrise and I haven't missed one. And that alignment piece, it's gonna change.
You've leveled up.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's hard in both shoes. It's hard to be the one that's leveling up and you're like, wait, everybody come with me. Come with me. But they're not on the same time frame as
Right.
you.
Right.
And what's so nice about the Sober Mom Life group is we are, right? And
Mhm.
if not, we're striving. And so we're like in awe of you. If we can't be there with you, marching up that hill with you, we're in awe of you because we're on the same path. We have the same goal. And
Mhm.
that's what makes us so aligned. And I think it just makes it so easy to like, I know anybody in that group, if I was like, hey, let's go grab coffee, we could probably talk for 5 hours, right?
100%. Because when you remove alcohol, the vulnerability in your friendships, like they just go deeper way faster. It's the weirdest thing. It's very like unexpected. Like my new friend Sarah, she reached out after she heard my podcast. I think you live in the same town. We had like lunch immediately and it was like no bullshit. Like let's get to the point. You know what I mean? Like there no surface level talk and I don't want to do that anymore.
I
You
know.
know, I don't have time for that. That's boring.
I was just saying to somebody, it's crazy though, right? Because I think in a lot of ways, I feel like I woke up out
Yeah.
of this daze and I'm like, that doesn't matter to me. That is pointless. That's whatever, like all this stuff. And so I'm kind of shedding a lot of stuff that I'm like, I don't care about that. Like I thought I did and I don't, and I'm kind of changing direction. So for the people that were in my life but this whole time, they're like, what is going on? And they're just seeing their friend change so much. And so I have compassion for that because I think it's like they don't know what to do. The second thing I've really noticed is this is such a sensitive topic to I think
Yeah.
most people.
Yes. Because it holds up a mirror.
It holds up a mirror. And let's be
Mhm.
honest, our generation, how you described high school, college, whatever, I would say that is so normal. That's not even like, oh, no, that's beyond normal. And so people are like, wait, but I drank the same amount as you and we all drank together. And now you're on this journey. And does that mean I need to be on that journey? And do I need to give up alcohol? And it's a lot when
Mm,
you so it's one thing for you to come to this realization and be like, oh, and like all this is great and you're thriving and whatever. But if it's kind of like mirrored to you, you don't really know what to do. And I think people truly don't know what to do.
mm.
And so
Yeah.
I try to give a lot of compassion for that, but also I'm not going to let that hold me back on my way leveling up.
Right. Right. You know, the other thing, I was very afraid to announce this or put it out there. You know, obviously I run an online business. I'm very open in my space. I'm very like unfiltered for the most part because I don't have time to be filtered. I don't have time to like I don't have time to put on makeup or anything. So I'm like literally, you know, like video in my kitchen. I don't care that I have hair on top of my head. I'm just
Yeah.
like I that's just
Yeah.
what you see online is what you actually also get in person.
Right.
So I was very apprehensive on announcing this for like a few different reasons. I was afraid of failing. I failed at it before and I was afraid of failing if I'm being honest and I'm like a go-getter. So that scared me. But also, I've built this business and I've prided myself on being relatable. I'm not the trainer that tells you you're not allowed to have donuts. I'm not the trainer that says I'm never going to have ice cream with my kids and neither should you. I'm not the trainer that says you have to work out every day. You know, like it's a very like moderate lifestyle, a very like this is a lifestyle, fit it in.
Realistic. Yeah.
Realistic, yeah. And I used to pride myself on I'm the trainer that orders a margarita and french fries. Those are like my things. And it just felt like that was like my identity. Like
Yeah.
that's why people related to me was because I had a drink or they would see me out in public and be like, oh, she's drinking, I can drink, you know? And it just felt really, really hard to announce it, make it public, even tell friends at first. And I kind of like would slowly, allude to it here and there, and people would ask questions, and then I just freaking ripped the band-aid off. Which was hard. You lose a part of your identity. People used to
Totally.
call me one more beer Holly because I was
Yep.
always the life of the party.
Yep.
I was literally one more beer Holly. We'd be out with friends. And I'd be like, come back to my basement, have one more beer, like stay longer. I love it.
Never wanted the party to end.
Never wanted to party in. But you know what? I was in Nashville a couple weeks ago with some of my business friends that I've met in the online world. And I, being the alcohol free person that I am, convinced everybody, all health and fitness professionals here, they're like, we want to go to bed. I'm like, no, we need to go out on Broadway. Like, we are
Oh,
in Nashville. Let's go. Convince them all to go out. It was one of three of the last standing, was
that's me to a T. So
dancing the night away with my
love
Corona Zeros. Like, it was like,
it.
you're at a bar, you just like have to have a beer in hand. I just had my Corona Zero.
Always.
It was
Yeah,
great.
I have to have like it's the alcohol free stuff is amazing
Yep.
because I'm like,
And I was pretty much sweating out the Corona Zeros anyways, dancing my ass off. And
yeah,
one more beer, Holly. I was like, this is it. One more beer, Holly, turned into one more song, Holly. I was like coming like, but I know every word to this song. One more song. If I don't know the words to the next song, we can leave. We can leave. And I know all the words. I'm dancing and like, whoa.
it's amazing. And it's like, oh, I'm still there. Like I was so afraid that that person would be gone without the alcohol.
Me
And
too.
she took a hiatus, I got to be honest,
Yes,
because
me too.
there was
I
a
was
lot to
afraid to
figure
go out.
out. I was afraid to go out. I didn't know. I was so awkward. Like it really, there's so much, but I really felt like I was like getting back in touch with the girl before I ever started drinking, like
Yeah.
almost like a teenager. And I felt like awkward. And then, but that didn't last. It was like, oh, that's because this is new. Again, trudging through the snow. It's not going to stay like
Yes, I
that.
love that.
But I
I
was not sure at the end, like who was going to be at the end of the ski run. Like, is it still going to be the girl that loves to dance and go to live music and whatever? And I was like, I don't know. And then I was like, oh, thank God. Yeah, she is. Okay.
So I stayed out that night till 1:30 in the morning.
Oh my God.
Okay, like I have like a 10 o'clock curfew for myself.
Yeah.
If I were drinking,
Did
I
you
had
get
a
up at
12
five?
yeah, I had a 12 o'clock curfew for myself when I used to drink.
Yeah.
And I stayed out till 1:30 in the morning. And I I don't know in my whole journey if I'd ever been prouder. Like that was like, or if I had more fun. I like called my husband the next morning. He's like, "What time did you get back?" And I was like, 1:30. Like, and it wasn't like I'm pissed at you. You were staying out drinking. How drunk were you? You got back to the hotel. It was like he knew. He's like, you were like totally fine. 1:30 in the morning. He's like, babe, that's awesome. And I just kept talking about it. I was like, I had so much fun. I was like, I looked at my watch at 11:30 and I had 15,000 steps. And I was like, and then I got back to the hotel room. And because my watch had turned over to the next day, I already had 6,000. It was the best night of my life. I mean, I
I
had
know.
the best time. And I couldn't stop smiling because I was like, I did it. I freaking did it. It was like in my head in this year that I've been, alcohol free. I've had what I call this alcohol free bingo card that I've like made up in my head, right? It's like attend a live concert. And we did that with my kids. And then I was like, oh my gosh. In March, I was like, I still haven't gone to a concert with just adults. Like that feels scary to me. And I did that. And it was like, go to a bar and go dancing. And I did that. And it was like, take a ski trip, check. Go on a beach vacation, check. Every single one like builds that muscle, right?
Trudging. Yep.
I mean, you just do it. And you're right. You look back up that ski hill and you're like, that wasn't so hard. That wasn't so hard. But if you're at the top of that ski hill and you look down and you're like, I have to get through all of that and all of those moguls and all those things, there's no way in hell I can do that. But you
Yep.
do one at a time.
One
And
at a
you
time.
look back and you're like, my
And then
gosh.
the confidence, then it's like, oh, I've already done this. You know what I mean? It's just
Mhm.
like because it's scary until you do it and then you realize, and it's just like, oh, like this is great. This is better. I couldn't believe it was better. Like the nights out, I don't. There's none of that like scary feeling. Like I feel like I was always like that my hangover was like looming almost. And I was like, I almost didn't want to stop the party because I was so scared of the hangover coming in. I'm still trying to figure out what this all was, but it's all gone. It
Yeah,
seriously feels like a superpower. And I'm
superpower.
like, I'm just clear. Like I wake up every day not hungover. I never have to be hungover again. I have more fun than I ever did. I'm clear, I'm safe, I'm present. Like you said, every single aspect of my life is better.
Yep.
I'm tremendously better
Yep.
because of this. And it's crazy. So even though there are these things where it's like, oh, these relationships and I'm miss a lot. It's like, well, I would rather that and get myself to another spot. And who knows who I'm inspiring
Right.
along the way and what that ripple effect is going to do. Like, it's incredible.
And those back to those relationships. And also looking back, I don't want to be in relationships where we're only having hard conversations when we're drinking and then
Yeah.
you're not remembering it tomorrow. Like
Yeah.
that's not a real friendship, and that's not how real friends are built. So I have a very specific friendship that was very much like that. Like lots of like serious conversations when she was drunk, I was drunk, and it's very surface level friendship now. It is what it is. I've had to like grieve that and move on and be okay with that. That's kind of like over how it used to be because it wasn't real in the first place. Like there was very rarely like a real conversation that happened when we were both completely sober. So it is what it is, like I like the friendships that I have that are real better now, like I like the relationship I have with my children more now. Like
Right?
this is not as short.
Oh my gosh, I it's been such a realization. Like it's little things, right? It wasn't this like glaring like and I'm there are glaringly, it's not to discount that, but like for me it was just a little bit of fog. And I'm like, I don't want a little bit of fog. I want to see these little beautiful faces and be so present for them and pick up they're hilarious.
Yes.
The
Yes.
little things they say and their little mannerisms and how they're figuring out the world, I'm like, I want to be crystal clear for this.
How old are your kids?
So I have a 6-year-old, almost 7, which he'll remind you of, and a 4-year-old.
Okay. So I envy you because I feel like I missed those moments because I was, not all of them, but there are
Yeah,
things I definitely
the
missed.
fog. Yeah.
But my kids are older and my husband does say, I don't think that the kids will ever remember you drinking. Maybe my daughter will kind of remember it, but not really. She's 12 and a half. But we took a family vacation in April. We went skiing and then we went to a national park to Zion. And it was by far one of our best family vacations ever. And I think it's because we were both completely alcohol free, completely present, wasn't worried about having a drink, none of that. And also, I want to say this before I move on with this story. When I say we weren't worried about having a drink, when I was drinking, I didn't feel like I was worried about that. I didn't feel like that was all consuming. But now that I'm away from it, the fact that I never have to think about that, I never have to be worried about if the waitress is bringing my beer again. Like even that little thing, you know,
It
it adds
adds
up.
up. It's
Yep.
all these little moments. And it's like you didn't realize you were swimming with like a weighted vest on
Yes. Yes.
until you take
So,
it off.
yep. And so we had this amazing time with our kids. They're growing up, literally becoming little humans, and they're funny and they're fun. And I just think about if I were still drinking, even things like our weekends when we have friends over to our house, what do the adults do? They hang out in the kitchen and they have drinks. But because I don't do that anymore, I have this time with my kids and I'm connecting with them and I'm connecting with their friends and I'm getting to know them on a different level than I am, the adults. And I love that. Like it can be both. You can now have both. Whereas before you're drinking and you're in the conversation with adults and you're worried about that. And I wasn't, and maybe this is not everybody, but for me, I wouldn't take the time to, go out and see what the kids were doing in the backyard or like, hey, let me hit a ball with you. Let me do this. And it's just so much better. And I just enjoy them immensely. Like they're awesome humans. And I only can think that what we are doing now by being alcohol free is completely building a better relationship with our children when they become adults.
Totally. And
And isn't that the
showing them.
ultimate goal? Like, we're trying to raise we have a saying in our house, we're not trying to raise good kids, we're trying to raise good adults that we went to hang out with. And what a gift will it be that we have that different relationship with them and they're gonna wanna hang out with us.
And we're showing them, right? Because that's the main thing. You can talk all you want, but they're watching you
Yep.
this whole time, how you're
Yes.
acting, what you do, how you spend your time, all of that. They're watching all of it. And so to show them through your actions that they're the priority or in that moment, or when I am socializing with the adults, I'm not getting like out of my mind and whatever. I don't know about you, but I grew up with an alcoholic. And so it was truly terrifying. And just to be able to rewrite that, like I didn't know how to be any way else because that's what was shown to me. And so a lot of times I feel like I'm doing this without a blueprint kind of thing, but I knew, and that was part of my journey. I was like, I'm not going to do that to them. I have no idea what's on the other side once I trudge through this thing, what that's going to look like, but I'm not going to do this because I know what that looks like.
Yeah. I have a little different my parents, my mom and my dad, I would not say were alcoholics at all. And in fact, my mom started to stop drinking. I don't know. I have no idea how long ago she stopped drinking, but she stopped drinking and she hasn't drank for a really long time. And so did my stepdad. But I've had a couple stepdads, so let's just put it that way. The stepdad that I grew up with, he was definitely an alcoholic. And it was actually interesting because looking back on that, I don't think I knew that at the time.
You don't know.
He wasn't, to me at least, he wasn't really angry, but he was always drinking. And I mean, always drinking and was always worried about the beer. And we had a pool in our backyard, and there were always parties with like lots of booze and karaoke. And, looking back now, like drunk adults. But it wasn't ever, there were not really times in my life where I felt like it was like scary.
Yeah.
But I do think now about it more because I have kids that are the same age as I was when my mom met that man. I was in sixth grade and my daughter's in sixth grade. And I'm like, I know he drank all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And I know he got in the car with us. Like that is a little scary to me
Mhm.
because now I'm like, I never have to worry about, hey, can I drink tonight or can I not drink tonight because I have to go pick up my daughter who's now, almost 13, hanging out with her friends till like 10 o'clock at night. It's not even a conversation in our house of who's not gonna drink because they have to go pick up the kids. It's like, we're always the sober people. Like, we are not drinking, so we can always run the kids. It's really not a problem. It's actually a blessing to be able to do that and have that time with.
I had a lot of rock bottom moments, like a lot of just like, wow, that was bad. That was dangerous. That could have
Mhm.
been even worse. I've been injured. I've had one of the most crystal clear moments for me in my decision to get sober was we were hanging out in a neighborhood party, and one of the moms came over later and she was like, oh, finally I can have a drink because I just got done with like the carpool and all this stuff. I think her daughter is in like sixth grade. And I froze because I was like, I'm not going to be able to do the carpool. I'm not going to be able to I won't be able to do that. I won't be able to hold off drinking until 10 or 11 at night. And I just like started panicking it was all internal. I didn't say anything, but we were sitting around this like bonfire and I was like at a loss of words. And I was like, this has gotten completely out of control. And it was like, you would think by like falling, getting bruises, getting injured, getting these horrible hangovers, that all these terrible things would be the like, no, it was the fact that I was like, this is out of control. That
Mhm.
I would think, I'm not going to be able to do pickup. I'm not going to be able to carpool. I'm not going to be able to, I'm going to get emotional. If my kids call me, I'm like, I'm not doing this. And it just like, I can't believe, like, for how I grew up, I couldn't believe that I full circle ended up in that position. And I was
Mhm.
like, I'm not doing this anymore. And it was like a week or two after was, that was it. And that's my sobriety date. It was like
Yeah, I love that. I love that it wasn't like some crazy rock bottom. It was a realization that you have a duty as a mother. We
and a
think
desire.
yeah, and we think that alcohol is a stress reliever for mothering, or it's a badge of honor to have the wine or whatever, and it's not. The badge of honor is to be able to be present with your kids, to be able to pick them up if they need. We have some people in our community that I remember this was years ago. They were at a friend's, they were both drinking, and I think somebody got hurt. And they really needed to probably like go to the emergency room, and they didn't because they couldn't
I
because they
know.
were drinking.
I
And it was
believe
just
it.
like kids being kids playing around. And I think about that. That could have been me. At any time, I have two boys that are nuts. At any time, that could have been me. And I'm
Right.
lucky it wasn't. Like I count my blessings that we didn't have those situations. And I will never put myself in that situation again. And
Mm-mm.
even when I did Suzanne's podcast a couple months ago, it was funny because it was like, um, I said, I don't know if this is forever. I know that what I know is that I'm not going to drink today and I'm not going to drink tomorrow. And I still very much so live in that motto. But honestly, I really can't think of any situation in my life that would make me drink alcohol. Like I play that tape forward and I'm like, okay, my daughter's turning 21. Am I going to drink with her when she's 21? No, somebody's got to take control of the people.
And what
No.
it just I have completely changed my mindset around
Yes.
alcohol because I'm like, I don't need it. I don't
No, I can still
want it.
have fun. Do I expect my kids to never drink? No. But you
No,
know
of course
what?
not.
I really hope that what we're doing here is like, hey, mom and dad did this. They drank when they were young. Maybe we don't need it. Now they're still fun. My mom and dad are so fun. My daughter says that all the time. She's like, friends think you're so fun and you're so cool. And I do love that. And I'm like, I'm still fun. Like, I don't need to drink. You can still go to the bars, like I hope my kids, do I expect that? No, I expect them to have a similar, rocky journey as us, but I'm hoping it's different for our kids' generation. I do hear that kids are drinking less nowadays. I do hear that.
They are.
I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just I think just being aware. Like I think one of the things that really harmed me was I wasn't aware of how dangerous it was, the links to cancer, that it's a carcinogen, that it has all I really didn't know. I also didn't realize just the overall impact that it was having mentally. I really have always struggled with anxiety, depression. It was like pouring gasoline on a fire. And
Yeah.
I just didn't know the facts so much, and I think if nothing else, what we're doing is going to make it so much more acceptable to talk about it.
Yes.
Like just talking in general has like pretty much saved my life because
You
I
know,
held
go ahead.
everything so close to my chest. And I was like,
Mhm.
I was a perfectionist and I was like, I'm just going to present this perfect image. I will put myself through so much pain, through so much. I will chameleon my way through life and be what everybody wants me to be. And I'll be perfect. And if I'm struggling, I'm going to keep it to myself. And I was like, okay, you're going to kill yourself trying to do this. And so just, if nothing else, if it's just like, just talk and if you can't talk to the people that you're surrounded by, get new people. Like just because they're your college friends or your high school friend, it doesn't matter. Sometimes those just aren't your people, and that's fine. Just keep searching for your people where you can be honest about how you feel, what you're going through. You deserve people that you can lean on and talk
Mhm.
and just get this out, because I think a lot of my issue with alcohol was I was trying to keep everything in and it was too much for me to handle, and I had to numb it to
Yeah.
possibly get through life, right?
I said, when I first stopped drinking and I was in the sober mom life, I know we talk about the sober mom life all the time. It's
Oh yeah.
literally like a crutch for me. I was like, people were like, I use it to numb, I use it to numb. And I'm like, I don't actually think I do that. And then about 3 months in, I'm like, it's not the numbing as in the kind of numbing we think that I have like all these like feelings and I just want to drown them out. For me, it was almost like I have these feelings and I have this wall and I don't want to talk about it. And I don't want to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And for me, alcohol was that like thing that allowed me to talk about hard things that I was afraid to talk about.
Mm.
It was a time where my husband and I lost his mom in 2022, and it was like we would have a bottle of wine and we would talk and we would cry about his mom, or we would have hard conversations about our childhood and the things that we were going through. And it was like, so it's kind of numbing to a degree, but it wasn't like so I didn't have to feel them. It was like so that I could bring it out. And I had to really do the work of like, am I able to have hard conversations and feel the feelings without alcohol? Yes, I am. And guess what? Guess what happens when you do that? You actually truly process and put it away. It's amazing. Like I love the book, Your Body Keeps Score. If you've never
I
read it,
know.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh, it's so amazing to me. And it was like my body was keeping score for years and years and years about all the things that I have been through. And I never allowed it to process because I wouldn't talk about hard things unless I was drinking. And then those hard things would then get buried back down and packed down. And so now that I'm completely alcohol free, I've processed all of these things and I've truly processed it and I've processed it and I've put it away.
Yeah. You're healing. It's like, this is what
I,
healing is.
I feel 25 pounds lighter. I'm
I
not. I
yeah.
didn't. People always ask me, "Have you lost weight?" I'm like, "Well, I didn't." That's the thing. I did all the things. I didn't really need to like lose a bunch of weight. I'm
Yeah.
definitely like less inflamed. I
Less
feel
inflamed.
better. Yeah,
Yeah.
less inflamed. I feel better. I'm not. I don't get as sick as often. But I feel like freaking $1,000,000, and that's what my husband says. He'll be 6 months at the beginning of June, and he's like, "Why would I ever go back?" He's like, I feel so damn good. He's like,
Right.
I'm clear headed. And both of our businesses, separately have just rocket shipped
Wait,
because of the
can we
focus.
let's talk about your business. Tell me all about it, because I follow on Instagram, but like, tell me about your business. When did you start? What's it all
Yeah,
about?
yeah. I started in 2020. I always say it was a COVID accident, but my husband tries to remind me like things don't happen like this by accident. You put in the work, Holly. So it started on accident, truly did by COVID. I've always been a trainer. I kind of did it on the side as I was a stay-at-home mom. It was like my adult interaction. And when the world shut down, my classes shut down. I was teaching at my church, I was teaching at the local gym. So I was like, I'm going to do these Zoom classes for free out of the good of my heart to help these people. The gym, fast forward, the gym's open back. I'm like, see y'all later, go back to the gym, and they were all free. And I did them like once or twice a week. And the people were like, no, I never had a gym membership. I never actually lifted weights. So they were like, will you put a program together? I was like, sure, I'm going to try a 6-week program. June 2020. So my business is almost 5 years old. And I put together a program last minute, whipped up this logo last minute all myself. And I was like, okay, here you go. Here's a 6-week program, charge for it. I think I had 40 people register. At the time, they were literally, I uploaded them on Facebook as a PDF, all of that. I did them on
Yeah.
Zoom, had no idea how to record on Zoom. So I was like, if you can't get on with me live, then you can't do it. So I think I had 40 people. And those 40 people, after 6 weeks, I was like, okay, guys, go back to the gym. See y'all later. Again, same thing happened. They were like, I'm not going back to the gym. So I did it again. And then I did the same thing, go back to the gym. And finally, after I ran 2 sessions and people just kept, please do more of this, I was like, okay, I don't half ass anything. So I'm like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. Like I'm going all out. And so I did. And I actually like tried to grow the business. And so here we are 5 years later. I no longer do anything on PDF. I have an online app where women register and it's all strength training. So it's really geared for the busy mom woman of all ages. My demographic is probably like 35 to 55 who want to strength train, who don't have time to get to the gym, and who don't really actually want to plan what they're going to do. Like I plan it all for them. It's a true training program. We do upper body split. It's progressive, really what you need to build muscle and become metabolically healthy in midlife. That latter part of your life, you have to be strength training. We hear it all the time. And so I still do the Zoom workouts because I can't let go of it. It's like my time to connect with my people, my community. We talked about that being sober. Like, this is also like a community of women who want this lifestyle, who really want to like level up not just the changes of their body, but they want to become this woman that is disciplined and is fit and works out and takes care of their body. So I do the workouts live at 5:45 in the morning. But I don't want that to intimidate anybody because only like 10% of my community get on live at that early in the morning, but then it's recorded and it's uploaded into the app for people to follow it at any time. If you don't like to follow along with a video, the workout is like written out in the app with demo videos for every workout. I do nutrition coaching alongside it to people. It's
It's
really
amazing.
amazing. And
Yeah.
now it's become a membership. I run sessions. You can do a one off session. But what has happened is everybody's like, I want this. I want it all the time. I don't want to take a break. So it's become an online, really, community.
That's so cool, and that makes so much sense because everybody has the same goal. It's like all
Yeah.
we hear about for like our age is
Yes.
strength training, lifting
Yeah.
weights, and it's like, great, what do I do? Because you picture walking into the gym and like I don't even know where to start, and
Yeah,
it's
it's intimidating.
intimidating.
And you're
Yeah.
like, what muscle group should I actually you work today? And then what if I worked that yesterday? Then what should I work today? And then how do I do it? And actually, how many sets should I do it? And if my goal is to build muscle so that my body burns fat and I hear this all the time, I don't want to bulk up. How much should I actually be lifting? How many reps should I actually be doing? I literally take every bit of that guesswork out for people and I coach them through form so you're really getting more bang for your buck because
Yeah.
ultimately a lot of times you see people do like 15 exercises in a workout. I'm all about like quality over quantity, getting it done 40 minutes or less. You can do it all from your home.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
It's like
that's my
having a personal
superpower,
trainer.
being able to write really good workouts at home and with minimal equipment that mimic a gym is literally my superpower. I will say that. That's what I love the most.
That's
Yeah, it's
amazing.
been amazing. I've met really awesome people. It's become worldwide. I have women in, Australia, New Zealand, California, Indiana, all over the United States. It's been such a blessing and just given me an opportunity to help so many women change. Their bodies transform 100%. Like, but their mindset and the standards that they have for their life become completely different. They become women who have high standards of I take care of my people, but I take care of myself first because we can't pour from an empty cup. And very similar to sobriety, like it's just become another notch on the ladder of what that standard looks like for my life.
Yeah.
I don't drink. I take care of the body that I've been given. I eat healthy. I sleep well. I manage my stress. And life is bigger and grander when you do that. And it's meant to be lived.
Yeah, and it feels so good. Like, I feel
Feels
like before all of this, like, hearing about not drinking and lifting weights and eating what I'd be like, "Bleh," like, that sounds terrible. And it's like, no, like, if you first of all, you need someone to help. Like, you can't just, like, dive into all this. It's like,
Yes.
lean
Yes.
on people that have done this. Lean on the community aspect. Find someone that you connect with and let them teach you how to do this in a way that isn't going to feel like it's just one more thing to do. It turns into something that you crave and that you're so proud of, and it makes you feel amazing. Like, I never even knew how good I could feel. I thought I had a limit to like how healthy I could feel or how proud I could feel or how confident I could feel. And it's like, I have exceeded in all of those areas once I actually sat down and committed to, okay, I'm just going to follow along. I'm going to follow along with these sober, alcohol free women who, all right, I'm going to listen to them for once. I'm going to listen to the trainer who literally has figured this out and put down these workouts. I'm just going to listen and follow along for once and see how it goes. And it's like, this is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. And the joy that comes from being able to literally truly be present in all areas of your life is just incredible. And I always say, like, I use fitness just like you use sobriety as a vehicle to help women live their best life. That's my motto. Like, I don't want fitness to become your life. You don't have to be thinking about this all the time. Like, literally, when my women become such a lifestyle, they're like, Holly, I just open the app and then I do it and I don't think about it again. I don't actually want you to have mental gymnastics about fitness, just like we don't want to have mental gymnastics about alcohol.
Right.
Like, it is literally the vehicle to allow you to live your best life. And it's checking all those wellness boxes: exercise, movement, sleep, alcohol, all those things. Checking it, you're on your way. You're on your highway. You know, you're ready to enjoy life.
Yes, you're
It's
leveling up.
limited.
Yes, yes, it's amazing. Oh my gosh, Holly, this was amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks for
so
having
much
me.
for being here.
Yes.
Everybody's gonna wanna find you. They're gonna be like, "Okay, where is this app? Where is this woman?" So, like, tell
Yes,
them.
so you can find me on Instagram. That's where I hang out the most. It's Hollie Nicholson Strong. I always have to say, if you're going to search Holly, it's Hollie, not Y. I don't think my mom knew when she gave me an IE that was gonna make it hard for people to find me on Instagram.
She wasn't
It's
thinking
Holly
about that.
Nicholson Strong. And I don't know when this podcast is going to launch, Abby, but I do have a really exciting announcement. You're going to
Oh,
have to come do a favor for me. I'm getting ready to launch my own podcast. July 1st is the launch date. Let's keep my fingers
amazing.
crossed, called Built Strong. And we're talking all the things that allows you to live your best, biggest, strongest life.
Amazing.
I'm
Okay. So
excited.
I will link all of the things in the
Yeah.
show notes so everyone can come find you, follow her on Instagram. That way you know when this podcast is coming out because I'm sure it's going to be amazing. We'll include Instagram, we'll include all the things. Thank you so much for sharing your story. This is
I'm so glad. I'm
incredibly
so glad. Every time I'm like, do people want to hear it again? And I'm like, yeah, actually, my motto, I was a teacher before this. So my motto when I was a teacher was like, if I can just help one kid, one kid. And that has been my motto with sharing my story, sharing my workouts. If I can just help inspire one person, then I did my job today.
absolutely. Well, I think you're going to hit more than one with this one.
Thank
So
you.